Thank you for your interest in the Wharton State Forest Visiting Vehicle Use Map. The following presentation summarizes the development of the Visiting Vehicle Use Map and presents the final map. The process to define appropriate vehicle driving routes within Wharton State Forest began in earnest in April 2021 as announced by Department of Environmental Protection Commissioner Sean LaTourette. In September 2022, the department announced the Wharton Visitor and Vehicle Use Survey to collect information about where park visitors recreate and the activities they enjoy within Wharton State Forest. Results of the survey were presented in February 2023, followed by 2 hours of public comment. Between February and December 2023, Department of Environmental Protection staff reviewed public comment and undertook additional analysis of natural and historic resource data and considered public safety in further evaluating routes. The results of the public comment review and further data evaluation and analysis were presented in a set of maps and posters at a public open house at the Batstow Visitor Center in January 2024. Between January and October 2024, department staff evaluated public comment from the open house, undertook further review and consideration of resource and public safety information, and conducted field visits and met with stakeholders. Review of public comment resulting from the January 2024 open house reflected a mix of viewpoints. 1,799 written comments were submitted with individuals expressing opposition and support for the proposed map. Points of opposition raised concern about the input process and impact of route closures on forest users. Supportive comments emphasized the need for protection of the forest from destructive and illegal off-road vehicle activities and the importance of having a clearly defined map to ensure responsible enjoyment of the state forest. Overall, the opinions expressed in the public comments indicate a divide between those who are opposed to the map due to concerns about the public input process and potential negative impacts to users, and those who are in favor of the map for protection and guidance. In addition to the review of public comment from the open house, field visits were taken to Wharton State Forest to evaluate route conditions. Field visits and additional discussions occurred among staff and with stakeholders, including local and state elected officials, adjacent landowners, staff from Fish and Wildlife and the State Parks, Forests, and Historic Sites programs, including State Park Police and the Forest Fire Service. Internal reviews called for keeping some routes open out of forest fire access concerns, while consideration of natural and historic resources called for more access restrictions. Overall, on-the-ground conditions and environmental concerns encourage restricted access for more routes, and yet, considering the public comment and desire to meet the public's access interests, steps are being taken to allow as much access as possible. The resulting access plan will require an aggressive route maintenance effort and significant protection measures on routes that are to be closed and inaccessible to motor vehicles. The final Wharton State Forest Visiting Vehicle Use Map includes 175.5 miles of unimproved roads and 28.3 additional miles for in-season hunting access. This provides 203.8 miles of access with the inclusion of hunting access. In addition, there are 57.5 miles of municipal, county, and state roads that were not previously accounted for. This brings vehicle access in Wharton State Forest to a total of 261.3 miles. The Wharton Visiting Vehicle Use Map is available to view and download as a geo-referenced PDF on the Wharton State Forest Visiting Vehicle Use Maps microsite, which you can find at njparksandforests.org/Wharton. Visitors driving through the state forest will be able to determine their locations on the Visiting Vehicle Use Map in real time on their mobile device, even in areas with limited or no cellular service. Additionally, printed copies of the map will be available at the Atzion and Batstow offices within Wharton State Forest, and visitors are welcome to print their own copy of the map. 28.3 additional miles can be used to access Wharton State Forest for hunting. Hunters must be actively participating in hunting activities and have a valid New Jersey hunting license with them per Fish and Wildlife hunting regulations. For information about hunting and regulations, please visit njfishandwildlife.org/hunting. Hunters should be prepared for difficult conditions. With a defined network of roads, the State Park Service will be working to maintain access for vehicles. This includes being supported by the New Jersey Forest Fire Service in maintaining roads. Roads in Wharton State Forest traverse sandy and frequently unimproved conditions. Visitors are encouraged to approach roads with caution. Conditions can be discussed with the State Park Service at park offices. Hunters should be prepared for difficult conditions, as routes solely for hunting access are expected to have minimal, if any, maintenance. State Park Police are responsible for law enforcement within New Jersey's state parks and forests and are actively recruiting new officers to enforce park regulations statewide. Fines for illegal off-road vehicle use and damages are up to $500 for a first offense, $1,000 for a second offense, and a minimum of $1,000 for a third or subsequent offense. Violations resulting in damage to or destruction of natural resources can incur an additional fine of 5 times the cost of the damages. Vehicles may also be impounded at an additional cost. The Wharton State Forest Visiting Vehicle Use Map is available now for public use. Between now and the end of 2024, the State Park Service and State Park Police will be educating the public about the Wharton State Forest Visiting Vehicle Use Map and how to travel through and access areas of the state forest. Beginning January 1st, 2025, State Park Police will begin stricter enforcement of the Wharton State Forest Visiting Vehicle Use Map, including the issuance of summonses at the discretion of the responding officer. Visitors are reminded that off-road vehicle use of any kind, for example ATVs, side-by-sides, and other non-street legal motorized vehicles, is illegal on state-owned lands. Vehicles operating in a state park, forest, or wildlife management area must be street legal, registered, plated, insured, and operated by a licensed driver on an established road. Park visitors who encounter ATVs or other non-street legal vehicles on or off established park roads or see suspicious or illegal activities on the DEP-managed public lands may call 1-877-WARN-DEP or 1-877-927-6337. Additionally, the Wharton DEP iPhone and Android applications allow visitors to report environmental abuses, including illegal off-road vehicle use, from their smartphone. For information on how to download the app, visit nj.gov/DEP/WARNDEP.htm. The Wharton State Forest Visiting Vehicle Use Map is a living map. Changes to the map should be expected as conditions on the ground change. Road closures may occur at any time in response to conditions on the ground, for example, flooded roads, damaged bridges or culverts, and in the event of a forest fire or emergency incident. Areas not available for motor vehicles will continue to be marked with signs, gated, and barricaded as appropriate and needed. Thank you for your interest in the Wharton State Forest Visiting Vehicle Use Map. Please visit njparksandforests.org/Wharton to access the Wharton State Forest Visiting Vehicle Use Map. Then be sure to get outside and responsibly enjoy Wharton State Forest. Remember to take with you what you bring, carry out what you carry in.